What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcasts. I am Justin, back again with Meelz. What's good, buddy?
Let's see what's good. What's good is if I wanted to say no, I want to say what I really feel, but I feel like it's too soon, and I also feel like it's too early, and I also feel like people may be listening. So you know what? I'm not gonna say it right now, but just know. Damn. I was gonna. You know what's weird too? I was going to sing a song that I then realized, damn, it's written by R. Kelly. So let's not sing that.
Oh my God.
but I just want to let everybody know that hopefully within a few weeks I'll be in a better place. So how about that? But with that said, I'm feeling good right now being able to talk to you. I'll be honest with you. I'm at work currently, and as you know, been discussing internally with myself, both my other coworkers are no longer at my job. So it's just me alone for the
Jesus.
entire day. And I'm kind of going stir crazy because I have no one to talk to. So this is refreshing in a way because this is the first time probably that I'm at work, or probably actually for probably the whole day, that I'm actually talking to somebody. So I feel good. This shit is mad lonely, mad sad, mad whack, but it is what it is. How are you feeling before we introduce our guests on this show? How are you feeling, Justin?
Man, I'm out here. I'm really out here. I'm good. I'm been a busy month. Life is pretty busy. I remember at the top of the year you were like, Justin, I don't know how you're gonna do all this shit. And I was like, I'll be good. I'm like, it's starting to catch up to me.
I mean, you alive now, but I remember saying that. I was like, all right, I mean, if you with it, I'm with it. You know, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Please stop. Please. I just got into an argument with Cyrus last night about him saying that. Please stop it. I hate that.
What's wrong with that?
I think it's because he says it all the time. And I'm just like,
because he said, but here's the thing. I feel like he says it very facetiously, and I actually, well, I guess I am too.
He says it to be a dick. And
yeah,
I'm just
he
like,
absolutely says it to be a dick. He absolutely says it because we know how Cyrus really feels about things. Man is
like,
you know.
God damn. Anyway, we have a guest.
Yes.
A patron who has been down for the cause for so long. He's followed me for a minute. I think he's followed you for a minute. He's been a long time supporter of the show. I can always expect him to throw out a wild ass opinion on Twitter, and I'm just like, yo, this nigga's wilding. But he's here on the show. Our guy Dietrich, aka Houston's very own. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, man? Happy to be here, homie. Happy to be here.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. And this is very strange. So people don't normally criticize names, but it's the first time you're the first Dietrich I've ever experienced. I feel like that's a OD Houston ass name.
You know what? It's wild, man. I've actually met a couple German people with the same name, said the same way, but it's just spelled different. Spelled with like a CH at the end instead of a CK.
Don't tell people you German on Twitter, man.
Oh no! No.
People on this internet lately.
100% melanin over here.
Oh my God. Nah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. First of all, thank you for the show. Thank you for being a Hall of Fame patron. And thank you for just, thank you for supporting us and everything of the rather. I kind of want to, before we get into anything dealing with, the rest of the wrestling world, I kind of want to know, like, when did you start watching wrestling? And yeah, just kind of like that. Like, yo, when did you start watching wrestling and how long have you been watching? And kind of like, who's your favorites? And, just take us through the gambit, like a real short like intro on like who you are and your relation to the pro wrestling world.
Well, I started watching wrestling when I was a kid. I think a lot of people did. Elementary, WCW, WWF at the time, the Attitude Era, and all that type of stuff.
Yo,
And,
if you had said like 2005 SmackDown, I would have lost my friggin'.
No, I like I said, I started watching early, and I pretty much kept up with the product, through the good and the bad parts of times, 2002 to 2005 Raw, um, just those good times and bad times. So I've always kept up with the product and whatnot.
Okay, so you down, like, you've been through it pretty much the same. I would assume the same amount as Justin and I in terms of watching all this shit.
And taking up your whole life. I get it.
Man, when you were younger, right? Obviously, because we broke as hell, we ain't got no money or nothing like that. So, obviously that was our childhood. Watching the Raws, watching the Smackdowns, going to school, the following day after a pay per view, talking with people and discussing the pay per views, and obviously the person who didn't watch, unfortunately everybody wasn't able, and letting them, discuss it. And that's just basically a part of our childhood. It's things that people let go and whatnot, and things that people hold on to. And this has kind of been a thing that I feel like a lot of us have pretty much held on to.
You know what I was asking myself the other day? I was like, yo, what if Raw was canceled? Like, Monday Night Raw ceased to exist moving forward. I mean, that shit would never happen at this point. Um, but like, what would I watch on Monday? What would I do on Mondays? Because
Right.
this has been like such an ingrained part of my weekly routine, longer than probably anything else, to be honest with you. Like, I've grown up as an adult. I've changed the way I do things. I've approached life differently, but the one thing that has kept the same over the last like maybe like 25 years was watching Raw on Monday. Um, so I'm interested to do, like, what the fuck would I do if Raw wasn't on, to be honest with you.
You will watch Love and Hip Hop.
Black Ink Crew.
Yeah,
Oh man.
you watch Black Ink Crew, Compton and Brooklyn. They're on the same night now.
Damn. Okay. Coast to coast. Shit.
I'm in the same boat with you too, man. I don't know honestly if Raw went off there. I'm like, would I even watch TV? Would I even turn the TV on? I have no idea.
Yo, I mean, I went through a phase where I didn't watch it. I mean, I was definitely watching. The thing is, you'll just gravitate to other trash TV. Listen, everyone that acts like they watch like prestige TV and shit like that, it's all trash. There's only like maybe 3 TV shows out right now that you could say, okay, this is prestige, pinky up, top level TV. It's all trash. You talking about Euphoria like it's nigga, it's art. No, I watched the same show y'all was watching. It's not art.
Listen. Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know. I would try to figure out what the hell else is on Monday. To be honest, the thing is like Raw is such a nice come down from the fact that I got to go back to work on Monday.
Or Tuesday.
That what?
Or Tuesday.
Or Tuesday.
You gotta go back to work.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, I guess. But I'm talking more about Monday. Like, yo, I just fuck Mondays and like come home and just kind of like watch Raw and zone out for 2.5 hours. I'd say 2.5 because I don't really watch the entire thing. But
Telling
yeah,
the listeners that.
because I know how Raw is gonna end with a banger of a match, and I'm like, okay, I'll catch us on a future pay per view. That's legitimately, and it's weird because I treat, we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but I definitely treat Cody and KO like that, which I was just like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I tried not to pay too much attention to that match, but they weren't going full bore.
Nah, but I felt like they weren't. Obviously, I feel like they got more in the tank, and we're gonna get the better one eventually. Like, to be honest with you, I could go to a generator and pick a random Raw from 2 years ago, and you'd be like, yo, that was the main event? What the fuck were we on? What was it? They showed the picture the other day. You remember the picture? They showed the picture on Twitter, and I remember I called it out. They were like, yo, look at the time, and they showed Braun as Universal Champion, Otis is Money in the Bank, Mandy with Otis, and then also Tucker. And I was like, nigga, I'm glad y'all having this discussion now because it was trash when I said it was trash, and now everyone's looking back like, "Yo, what were we doing?"
Oh God.
It was some questionable stuff in that PC era. Oh man, questionable.
Listen,
And that's one of them right there.
Filming 2 weeks at a time, they just allowable to do anything and just kind of got to live with it.
It's a time that I don't think anyone will look back at fondly because of just what was going on in the world. But I'm glad that we had it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad that it's still on Mondays in a pandemic. We still had something to at least have on TV. when nothing else was going on. You know what I'm saying? Even though like a lot of those, like half of those fucking shows were like, some of them were clip shows. Remember they were just out and out, just do clip shows some weeks where there was just not enough people to fill the show, and they would have people working. They had people like sell like multiple times a week.
God bless. I mean, wow. But just a wild experience. But D, is great to have you on this show.
I'm happy to be here, man. And like I said, it's easy to get caught up in listening to a lot of different people that may necessarily not look like you. So they may not understand the point of view when it comes to this thing of ours. Like I said, I found you guys. Obviously, I have been following Meelz and J5. I have been following you guys for a while. And honestly, when y'all started your own thing, I was like, well, shit, I know who I'm tuning in and I know who I'm finna tune out.
Oh, man. That means a lot, bro.
I appreciate that, too, because sometimes they also, but sometimes they also do look like us and still share a weird perspective. But it is what it is.
Hey. I'm glad I ain't running across them.
Listen. Hey, man, don't do it to yourself. Nonetheless, we should get into, before we get into No Holds Barred, we should probably get into the question of the week that we're going to discuss on the Patreon only type of thing, because Justin has some takes, and the response to this has been, I guess, I'm assuming, is wildly different than his take. So for those who are not on the Patreon, first of all, what are you doing? It's $5. Get on it.
I mean, look at Dietrich, man. He's on here. He's on the show
now. Listen, we here. Come on. So that's one thing. Second thing is, every week we do a question of the week, or at least we're trying to do this every week. I might forget. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I don't. We try to do a question of the week that we're going to answer on Patreon and kind of talk about it in a large discussion. This week, question of the week is, should Cody beat Roman Reigns? So we're gonna talk about that on the Patreon. And for those who are not on Patreon, we'll be right back with No Holds Barred.
All right, y'all. We had I was spitting, man. I never would have expected to be an advocate for this guy, but you're gonna want to
strong Cody advocate, man. I can't wait to see you in your suit and tie.
You're gonna.
Ooh, he was going off up in there. Woo.
Man, big neck tattoo was starting just to grow from his, like a growth.
Bro, it's appearing, bro. Mine got a cookie on it. So it's even. I'm a member of the Nightmare Factory, bye.
Oh my God.
I'm affiliated, but listen, man. That just has to be what it has to be. You guys will be able to listen to my take on the Cody situation on the Patreon. $5 down, man. You guys get to listen to all these shows early, and you also get to get extended looks at shows like the Show and War Report with, of course, our guy Quan, the comeback spot himself, and Cyrus. But let's get into No Holds Barred. First thing, big news. I'm glad it happened today and not right after we fucking recorded, but it happened late last night. The belief is that, or it has been confirmed that Kushida has left the WWE. He was moved over to the alumni page, and that was found out last night. He left his contract, or it expired, and then his deal actually finished this week. And it's being said that, you know, he might be just going back to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I feel like everybody from Japan in WWE just want to go back to Japan. It's like, yeah, there's like, yo, this pandemic thing is different. I want to go home. Get me out of here, please. I'd be interested to see kind of what his reasoning was, but if I'm assuming that played a large part in it as well, but I actually have no basis on terms of that. But Kushida, I mean, I liked Kushida in his run. I liked his, his run against Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. I'm not gonna say, because I've definitely seen online how you fuck up Kushida, and I'm just like, bro, y'all didn't even know who the nigga was before he showed up.
Like, I saw a lot of people also saying like, yo, he lost all the time. I'm like, bro, did y'all ever watch this New Japan? He lost all the time, bro.
Yes.
Like he was not a. I remember people were like mad because he didn't beat Tanahashi when they felt like he should have beaten Tanahashi. I'm like, bro, like if you wanna call a spade, like he's always kind of been that scrappy babyface archetype.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, go ahead.
No. I was just saying, like, yeah, he's always been the same way. Even when he got to NXT, I mean, I enjoyed him. I liked the whole Back to the Future thing. I was digging it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, he wasn't gonna come and win the NXT championship. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, they slotted him where he was at, and then, like I said, in this recent year, yeah, he has been losing a lot on NXT. But I figured he knew he was on his way out, and he probably told him like, "Yeah, I'm on my way out."
Yeah, I mean, if you don't resign, prepare to lose, nigga.
Yeah. And he had been losing. He lost to Inoue and the other guy on Level Up, and I said, that's a little weird. It's not like I was like, oh, okay, I guess he's I guess he's maybe on his way out, and I think that it's tough to be here. Let's just be clear. He got here right before the pandemic. They seem to have so many plans for him. Cruiserweight title was basically they were going to hand it to him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When he came over here from Japan, the pandemic happened. He got injured. In fact, remember he got injured on one of the first NXT lives, so he was out and he didn't come back until like deep into COVID. And Triple H even says that we're going to talk about his newest interview in just a second, where he's just like, hey, like the 2.0 thing came out of necessity. Like Black and Gold kind of died out when COVID died out, and we couldn't really get people in the position that we wanted to be in. Kushida is a fact of that, where it's just like they could not find something for him to do because everything had, like, by that time Walter was gone and he couldn't even get the lick back on him. Like it was just a lot of things that just went wrong for NXT. I don't blame Kushida for trying, because you know what, he tried. You know what I'm saying, and he gave it an honest try.
Absolutely. All right. So boom. Let's get into this next bit of news as Justin has talked about this Triple H news. He had an interview in the Atlantic earlier this week, kind of talking about pretty much the trans. I think this is the pretty much the topic that kind of everyone had been waiting to hear him talk about, especially since his absence since NXT 2.0 kind of began. He talked about kind of the transition between NXT Black and Gold and NXT 2.0, which is overall just a different perspective of kind of the company taking a different perspective on how they're going to develop their talent. Now, Dietrich, are you an avid watcher of NXT 2.0? Were you a fan of Black and Gold? Like,
I mean, like, with Black and Gold, yeah. When they had a takeover Dallas down here for 2016, I went to that. Obviously that was the
ooh,
debut of Shinsuke Nakamura against Sami Zayn in a banger.
that
Um,
was a moment. That
that
was a
was
moment, baby.
incredible. So I still go back and watch it to this day. Yeah, I was a fan of the Black and Gold. I felt like I said it became really reliant on the indie guys, signing this, signing that, which is cool. It's whatever you want to do, like, but I don't think they thought of long term when it came to the main roster. I feel like they were only thinking like, oh, this is our thing down here. This is just gonna be us. And then all these
Right.
transitions to the main roster, it ain't really work how they thought it was gonna work. Um, but like now, like the NXT 2.0, I'm digging it. I'm liking it. Like I said, when you see a younger guys, younger girls, they working out there. Even the NXT Level Up, I enjoy watching those on Friday nights. It's good. Like I said, you working with new talent. You bringing those new talent up. You developing them. And like I said, I enjoy watching NXT 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, just kind of in terms of, I mean, we've been with the product for close to at least a year now. It seems to be doing what it's doing. I mean, I think ultimately, WWE is doing this thing where, and people are gonna say like, "Yo, we ride in WWE." I'm like, "Nah, it's not." But it's as a creative, kind of realizing that there's times where you need to shift, maybe pivot, or maybe move on to the next thing as an industry. and realizing that, you know, the style that NXT Black and Gold had, while it did cater to this kind of fan base, in terms of the long-term prospect of WWE, it didn't necessarily work out. And then we hear comments from like Randy Orton talking about like some of the guys from NXT is like, yo, who taught them how to work and shit like that. Like, there's so much stuff that goes down. Yo, Justin, what did Triple H exactly say in this thing?
About the NXT superstars going to AEW.
Yeah.
Well, he said that he said basically, I like all these guys. They helped us get to where we needed to get, and I'm thankful for it. The truth is that there was a period of time where we were trying to build NXT. We built NXT, then we were trying to build a brand that could get on the television and sustain it. All those names helped us to get there. Whether anyone believed it or not, or whether anyone believed they fit on Raw or SmackDown, those aren't necessarily my decisions solely, and they're Vince McMahon's decisions and fans' decisions. And then can we continue to do business with them? If they have great gigs, I'm happy for them. I stay in touch with almost all of them. I like to think that they came into us here and we taught them a lot, and they get them to a higher level where they learn how to do television, how to be professionals, and how to be successful there. At some point, they might come back with us, or they might never, because they don't fit our brand as well, and that's okay. They got us to certain places. I'm thankful for that, and they're off to different things. But that doesn't stop the train. People leave football teams, move on to different teams all the time, and it's great.
I mean, there you go. I feel like in terms of I don't know if people, I guess, wanted the idea of like, oh my God, how do you feel about losing all of your, you know, old NXT talent? And I feel like that's just how the business works. And I feel like Triple H more than anyone knows how the business works, because he was actually, an active competitor during the great, you know, I wouldn't say great exodus, but like Monday Night Wars, people moving back and forth. People got to do what's best for them at the end of the day. And I think for the last 20 years, the business kind of stayed stagnant until AEW showed up. But I don't know if people were expecting him to kind of say something else, but I think he's grateful for this.
They want him to shoot. They want him to shoot on Vince. They want him to shoot on Vince. And I think that like, I think that wrestling Twitter in general is just so histrionic. Like, they cannot move on from certain things. Like, they cannot move on. Like, we can address certain things, but when it comes to like, hey, like things are changing, they cannot take change whatsoever. And I think one thing that he said is in this interview that I thought was really interesting was how the plan for NXT 2.0 was always there, because they had to get a fan base or a viewership that sustained itself. And a lot of people will laugh at the 600K every single week, but it's a solid 600K or more to tune in every single week to that show. Right. And that's really what we're trying to get, was that they're trying to figure out who's watching it, who's their core fan base. Because at the end of the day, that same 600K might have been the people that were watching it on the network too. You know, we don't know those network numbers, you know what I'm saying? But they know what's going on. And I think that being able to move on from that, whether you like it or not, they're still seeing some sort of success with it, and people are sticking with it, whether, you know, no matter the age. But to be able to say, hey, we had to move on from this, people are moving on, they might come back, they might not, they're not really a part of, they might not be part of the brand. Like, it doesn't make up for how shitty it was to fire a lot of these people during the pandemic. But it does make sense where it's like, okay, like they were going in a different direction, and, you know, clearly pandemic probably sped that up, you know. So yeah, it's rough. It's rough. But I want to talk about something else that was rough over the weekend. And we don't really talk about ratings that much. But I want to get really just your honest opinion on these AEW ratings, because it seems to be like, to me, it seems like it's too much. I feel like they're giving people too much. And I think that like they're seeing that like there's like a modest decline, or really like a more than modest decline. Like, they had a Battle of the Belts special. It did about 500,000 viewers on Saturday. Then they had Rampage
on Friday before SmackDown.
Before SmackDown at 7:00. They did about 427K or something like that. Like, what do you think? And again, like, this is TV viewing patterns, you know, and this is for both sides. It's weird for wrestling in general, but for AEW to start out like so hot, and now it's kind of stabilized to where it's like, oh, we're gonna do like 900 on, like they did 900 last week with CM Punk wrestling, and like all types of and a title match and all of that stuff on there, and it just kind of did what it usually does. Like, what are you guys kind of seeing with this show where it's just like, okay, is the with all the stars they have, it's not really growing. Like, what do you guys see? What trend do you guys see with that?
All right, Dietrich, if you watch AEW, feel free to go first.
I watch it here and there. I'm not a big fan of them or whatever the case may be, honestly, because sometimes I feel like they don't have anything to offer me. But I will say this: what's got to stop is these huge announcements. I got a huge announcement. Like, how many huge announcements do you got? You can't keep popping that off because you want people to tune in to say you signed so and so and so and so. Like, what's happening here? Y'all got big stars. Y'all got guys. I guess indie dudes. They got indie guys that were stars. They got former WWE stars. They got Mr. CM Punk, which should be, I guess, doing more for them or whatever the case may be, but clearly it's not. They have a lot of pieces there to, I guess, rival even Raw's ratings, but we don't see that. It's 900K. Friday's abysmal 500 when SmackDown is doing 1.892. I just think they're more focused on these shock announcements, these shock value parts. Where it's like, come on, guys, if this is what you want to do, then do that. But the rating talk gotta stop. It's just gotta stop because it did this, oh, it did this playoffs, and like, dude, before AEW jumped on the scene, Monday night used to be interrupted by the damn dog show. This and that. Monday Night Football ratings. Nobody cared until this AEW thing showed up, and now it used to be the demos when they popped off. Now it's back to being it's the ratings. Like let's pick a side. Pick a side.
I feel like the show, at least in terms of rating, so I'm not gonna hold them to the fire too much because two of the shows that we talked about were in different time slots than they are usually. I mean, not that they're doing that much great anyway, but they're in different time slots. One was at 7:00 for whatever reason. I think it was because of NBA, which is fine because I'm trying to watch NBA, to be honest with you. It's the playoffs. One was there, and then one was on Saturday night for also during NBA, so I'm not even sure what the damn thing was. But I'm not going to give them too much because they're in different time slots and it's hard to condition people to immediately go to these different time slots and watch these things, especially during the weekend. It's fine. However, the fact you have major world championship matches on these shows and it does absolutely nothing, I don't feel bad. I mean, I'm sure Adam Cole's like, yo, who are you to feel bad for me? But at the same time, it's like, what you thought it was, it's clearly not. What their interests are is clearly not in developing and creating and creating exciting television, which is most importantly. I think people who watch this show and critique, oh, AEW does this and WWE does that. I think WWE looks at this from the standpoint of we're making television here. So it can't just be great matches all the time and hoping that people are going to tune in for that. You can't just fill up the first hour and then decide to go to the second hour and drop everything there. You can't have, and this goes out to more people than that as well. You can't have, people talking about, oh, Keith Lee, Swerve, and versus what's my man's name? Will Hobbs and God, it's my guy. I forgot his name.
The fucking I know you're talking about. He's like The Rock.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm mad that I'm fucking up his name.
Starks.
There we go. You're my guy. Don't worry about it.
That segment with them got the lowest viewership last Wednesday, and everyone was like,
"Well, blamed like we the problem."
My God.
I was mad about that. I was mad about that more than anything because you really like shifting blame from the fact that this TV show is so poorly organized that people drop off a cliff in the second hour because they don't build to anything on the show. They start off the show hot, they keep the show hot, and then it drops because it's no longer hot anymore. And you have matches that don't mean a you could hear, as Justin puts it during one of the women's matches, you could hear a roach fart during that match. Because one, you have not conditioned people to like the women's matches enough, unless Britt Baker is in front of your television. And you have not, put in the effort to develop a lot of these women that you're putting on the show. And it's the same thing for everything else you put on the show. The fact that people wanted to blame first of all, the fact that black people wanted to blame black people for not supporting this show after they have not supported us back in any perceive, and then put them in the second hour. If you want people to go out and believe that these guys are big stars, put that tag team match at the first match of the show, similar to what they did on Monday night. Go ahead,
because that's when everyone's watching. Is
that's
that first hour?
And then it's the same thing of what they did with the women's match last night. Big women's tag team championship match. This is probably the most anticipated women's tag team championship match has been in the last 2 years. And they put it at the top of the show, and I think it got a good reaction in it. And not only was it a great match, but also told a story and advanced the program. It did so many different things at once, and it got the initial crowd. And now you have people who's going to be supporting Liv or supporting Rhea or whatever these things, and you see Sasha Banks and Naomi and all this other stuff. You give them their eyes on that. This show is so poorly put together from a standpoint of a television show that it is suffering because it is not a good television show. I don't want to sit there for 2 hours and watch this shit. Beyond the wrestlers and their abilities and all this other stuff, that's besides the point in this point. It's not a good television show. Raw, third hour, someone said it on Twitter most of the time. Sometimes it's not even just me watching the show. Sometimes it's the show watching me at some points, because that third hour would be tough.
Yeah, PS5 be on unless there's like.
But those 2 hours of AEW, once you get past that first hour, barely, there ain't nothing in demand to watch anymore. I'm not trying to watch, no offense, and all my guys, they all New York people, but I'm not trying to watch Pride and Powerful and Eddie Kingston shout very New York things at each other to some white guys. I'm not trying to watch that. It's not a good television show. That's kind of my thing about this.
Church. I mean, that conversation last week was the niggas was saying like, we got to make a spaces about this. I'm like, for what? There's nothing.
No damn spaces. Get out my.
There's nothing to talk about here. If you don't feel that way, like if you don't feel that way, that's the thing. It's been proven that AEW has like the least diverse audience of all time. It's not a shock that black people don't watch the show. Period.
I mean, it's like you wasn't catering to us in the beginning, but not just because you threw us on in the second hour, you want us to tune in now. It's like, come on, man. Like, how can you even say that that's our fault that the second hour dropped off? That ain't got nothing to do with us.
It ain't my fault. Y'all they said, and then it's like, they're like, well, what did that tweet say? It was like, Vince will call you the N-word and y'all would lap it up. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
It ain't my fault.
That's the thing that shocked me. Remember that spaces we had a long time ago, a couple months ago? And I was just like, bro, I cannot believe people actually talk like this in real life. Like, people legitimately talk like this for real. Like, they say these things on the internet, and then they like get off the internet and they still say it. And that to me is the craziest part about this whole shit, is like people actually get off of the internet, Meelz, in Detroit, and they say these.
Sorry to interrupt, but also the Scorpio Sky thing.
Ooh.
Keep the same energy is all we're saying. All we're saying is keep the same energy. We're not saying the people who talked badly about people is like, okay, the Big E lost the world championship thing. I ain't hear a damn thing about the Scorpio Sky thing. I ain't hear nearly enough.
You know what made it worse is that Scorpio is that he lost to somebody who everyone always gets mad about whenever he shows up on TV about, the Sasha Banks comments he made. I'm talking Sammy Guevara. But no one's really saying nothing about this right now. I think it's just interesting, right? Where it's just like, it was crickets. literal crickets. And now it's and the Big E thing was like you can't even say you thought that he had a solid run or he's going to get it again. Scorpio Sky only got that title to really advance another storyline that he was not a part of, and then he lost it.
Selective hearing. You know what I mean? It's like they saying one thing, but they don't want to hear the other thing. Like, if you want to get mad at, like I said, the second hour dropping off or whatever, not supporting, but you're quiet on this. What makes a difference between this? Is it performative? Because that's what it seems like to me. It seems to be performative.
It always is. It always is. I think that was it was a pretty slow week. I think that was the biggest thing this week. Let's just go right ahead into the shows. We're not even gonna take a break this week. Let's go into the shows. Is that cool?
Right. Yeah, I'm good. I'm straight. You know me.
SmackDown.
I gotta hold on. I gotta remember what happened on SmackDown. Oh, also they're celebrating 20 years of Randy Orton this week.
Oh,
we got 20 years with this man. That is insane. I'm not gonna say this is the legacy of Randy Orton, but they've legitimately changed rules for Randy Orton.
Yeah. I mean, they changed the wellness rules. He's Allen Iverson in reverse in WWE, bro. The rules only got worse.
He was like, I guess they can smoke weed.
We can't, so fuck it. But Raw or SmackDown was a strange show. No Roman on the show. They tried to pull he's in the locker room. He's just not coming out. Like, no, he's not there.
He was at the crib, man.
But Randy was there, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Randy. That was them right there. Yeah, they were there. They were on the show.
Yeah. All right. So they definitely were on the show this week, and they set up this match that we're going to get at WrestleMania Backlash, the unification tag team championship match between RK-Bro and the Usos. What are our general thoughts on I guess this match and this encounter, which is I guess it's the biggest tag team match in WWE since probably the Canadian Stampede.
They cannot keep letting these niggas win. They just can't. If they win both titles and the bloodline got all the titles, I'm going to scream.
They want that picture, so get ready because they want that picture on that Monday night when they run out there and they got all the titles.
It's gonna be hard too.
Get ready to scream because that's what's gonna happen.
That picture gonna be hard as fuck, bro.
They want all that because it adds to the overall story of Roman Reigns apparently. So they're gonna want all that. And
they already got the bloodline merch. They got bloodline merch with both all the titles already in them. I'm most sure of it.
It's in the vault right now, cooking. Just waiting to drop day one.
Screen print right now.
I bet the tagline is going to be "Blood is thicker than titles" or whatever. Blood is thicker than belts.
Boo!
Oh God. Yeah, they're not gonna. God bless, but yeah, I think it's the Usos is probably going to pick this up. But I mean, I didn't really notice that. I thought it was a good look to have this program, and I hope my hope is at least to take that I threw out is that this match closes WrestleMania Backlash because I think
Roman ain't working. Roman's not working. It's clear he's not working.
He ain't got no program.
They did the Shinsuke thing, and that was it, bro.
Well, everyone's on PTO. I guess that last week everyone was on PTO, so and they deserved it. But that was to me the biggest program on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Ricochet defend the title against Jinder Mahal. Jinder still not good. Still not good at all.
Just consistently not good. Sorry, Channing, but consistently not as good. You know what?
He's terrible.
Jinder. I mean, he got a job. I mean, what am I supposed to say? God bless him. He still got a job.
Hey, that's a former WWE champion. Put some respect on his name.
First minute of the match, I see Ricochet in a headlock. I said, "Oh Lord, let me skip ahead, bruh."
No, they were slowing it down. They were slowing it down really easy on that one.
Yo, the Ricochet slander gotta stop.
Yeah. Oh, we need to stop the Ricochet. Listen, whoever started this Ricochet is not good conversation, cut it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on with y'all? Like, I hate to even get like that, but I'm like, all right, I know we joke him for the promos and the Drew McIntyre shut up thing
and the ball head and stuff.
and the dancing.
Here's my thing. At least he had to respect. At least he had to respect that no one is over for his hairline, and a lot of y'all don't, from what I'm seeing.
Come on, man.
A lot of y'all need to let it go.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do that to people.
Nah. They gotta let it go because no disrespect, to Mr. Stevie Wonder, but some of them hairlines y'all be looking like Stevie. So it's time to go ahead. It's time to go ahead. Stevie hairline all the way to the back of the middle of the head. It gotta go, man. It gotta go. They gotta go.
It all combed the same, baby. It all combed the same. You don't know that.
It's the reason why a lot of y'all not showing y'all pictures on y'all Abby's on Twitter, bro. Because I know your hairlines is cooked. So stop talking about Ricochet.
All right. No, we need we need to stop the conversation that Ricochet is not good. Ricochet is incredible. Like in the ring, he's incredible. Do I think he needs a role as a persona type of thing? Absolutely. But in terms of in the ring, this guy, he brings it every time, and he brings the best out of his opponent, even the gender. To an extent.
He had gender selling. Yeah, that was what he brought out of him. But a good win for Ricochet. It seems like they're all in on him right now. They're really all in on him. He beat a former WWE champion, and that's something that I could not have said when AJ Styles was running it up on this nigga 2 years ago. So.
Man,
no, you're right.
It was some clips off that AJ stuff. AJ was working them, boy.
Hey, he was destroying this nigga. Styles clashes off the top rope every time out. Every time Styles clashes off the top rope.
That one where he bounced him off the top rope. Oh my god! I said he disrespectful.
Jesus Christ.
What else happened on this show? You had
Drew Gulak got beat up. Drew Gulak got Charlotted, by the way. Just letting you know. I'm beginning to wonder if is he really going to be a backstage journalist, or was just for the purpose of getting beat up by Charlotte?
That might have been the purpose, but he get money, man.
My man. That figure 4 leg lock was about to slip out. He said, "Hold up. Don't do this yet. My leg not moving. No, sirree." And he had to latch on. He damn near locked it on them damn self.
Yeah, nah, he made her look good there. I think if Drew is kind of like, Drew would be a bomb ass producer. You know what I'm saying? I know people want him to have the WWE title, which why? But why?
Hey man, listen. If you see what Tony Nese look like in AEW, you probably don't, because you never see that nigga. But don't wish AEW on Drew Gulak. Wish for him to have a high paying job where he's able to support his family, continue to support his hairline in that order. And
he's the first face you see on 2K22. He's the first face you see. He teaches you how to play the game. So he's the first person you see in the game. So it's he's good. Rhea and Naomi had a really good match.
I thought they had a banger.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's underrated here is that Naomi, very good, but also Rhea Ripley, also very good. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk more about Rhea in a second, but they had a really great match there to build up some suspense for Monday's tag team match. Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, they are trying their damnedest to keep him away from Roman Reigns. I'm telling you, they are trying hard.
I feel like they don't want him. It might be for the best interest, because they might not want him to get beat.
Well, I don't think they want either of these guys to get beat right now, but I think that it's smart for them to do this. But I also feel like it's also all right, come on, guys, give Drew something, bruh. something,
He
bro.
can go back to Happy Corbin.
All right, boot D off the
I mean, yeah, they gotta do something, man. I mean, like I said, they just right. They don't want any of these guys to get beat. So they're kind of just giving Drew like, oh, here you go, give you something to stay active. You know what I'm saying? Keep your cardio up.
I know, in terms of just kind of moving on from this thing, I know, Justin, you had very high praise for one man named Butch this week.
he's the star of that group, looking like, or he's gonna be the star. Like, listen, they don't give you what they're giving him, like that type of character, if they don't see something in you. He's not silly. He's not a joke. He's literally like the loose cannon. Like what? Like the where is Butch? That's a shirt. Because it's like, yo, where is he? And if he roll up on you, he gonna whoop your ass. Like, he reminds me of Finley.
Butch ass nigga. That's what they should call him.
Oh, all right, can we boot Meelz out of chat now?
No, but I 100% agree with you. Like that where's the Butch shirt. I think just in general, I think they've managed to capture a gimmick that ingrains a little bit of personality that he never really gets to show. He never truly gets to talk, which is, I mean, I'm sure he'll get there one day and he'll be able to, do that, I guess, a lot more comfortably on the mic. But then also, it's taking advantage, like, even his size, he's still very dangerous, which is something that WWE never really does. I mean, we see stuff like almost on television, and we got to go sit through like Gunther stuff and all this other stuff like that. But we never, like, you get called up and it's like his size is an advantage because now he's a small killer, Tasmanian devil type of character. And I think that's probably the best way they could have, utilized him. And, sorry to all the people who thought,
he would flop.
Yeah, but it's not happening.
Hey, he came flying across that table. Boy, ain't never touched the ground in his life.
Woo!
I said,
That's combine, baby. That's combine stuff. They don't teach you that over in the Nightmare Factory. They don't teach you about that stuff.
I said, whoa. Wait a minute.
Can we stop being afraid for him now? Is it okay to just be like, all right, he's good, he'll be fine?
Yeah, for sure, man. I know a lot of people. He got the name change and everybody dogged it. But a wrestler is more than just a name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like there's more than one dynasty in wrestling, bro. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Hey, man, this ain't my show, but boot this man.
Oh my God! What else happened on SmackDown? Not much I want to talk about. Madcap Moss ill.
I thought Jimmy and Riddle had a good match.
Oh yes, one of the best. Riddle in 1 month has had two of the best RKOs of all time.
That was sick. That was sick. I was legitimately like, yo, that shit was crazy. Nah, that was pretty tight. Like, that was pretty tight.
How did he do that? How the fuck did he do that? Like, that was crazy.
Sidebar before we move on from SmackDown, because this happened. It didn't happen on SmackDown, but was a dark segment for SmackDown. One LA Knight. Looks like he's getting a new gimmick. Did you guys see any of this online?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, I did.
How do you guys feel about LA Knight now being the mouthpiece for, I don't know if he's formerly known as Mace, but now he's Face? I wish y'all could. I wish it was a visual medium if you could see what I was doing with my hands right now. But
Tony Ago.
Yeah.
I think it's a good role. I think we all foresaw that, and the thing is that somebody would have had to do that. I think the rumor was that it was going to be Adam Cole. Adam Cole said he'd never seen anything about it, never heard about it. But I was like, that was definitely for somebody. Mm-hmm. Like that role was going to be for somebody. I'm just wondering if it was always for LA Knight or if someone got their wires crossed. But I'm waiting to see what it is. If he could be sort of like a give me, show me the money type guy and eventually wrestle if he wants to. I mean, you got to have, like, I think for managers, the biggest issue I think that Vince has with them is that they always have to look weak and unopposing. Like they have to look like punks. LA Knight don't look like that. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he could whoop your ass too. So I think he could really work as a manager, but someone who could also get his hands dirty too if they choose to go that route.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like that's the manager thing. I think that's missing in WWE too. Just those managers, like I said, credible, not a woman in the sense of like they always put two dudes together with a woman. They don't never put two dudes together, and this is the mouthpiece manager. But outside of during the PC and the building, whatever the building was called, I forget what it was called, Thunderdome, with the Hurt Business.
Absolutely. Nah, I think just in general, he's great in the role. I mean, he's a great talker, and I think he's embraced it already because he kind of knows it's like, yo, I got to embrace this. This might be one step to another step, and who knows? He probably end up in the ring before the end of the year. Who knows? But this is one step to another step, and now we're stepping over to Monday Night Raw.
It was a great 2-hour show. I thought entertained me. Great, entertained me for 2 hours, and then the thing is that they're trying to carry you to the Cody match, but they just didn't have enough to carry you to that match at the end.
Nah, because they might have to establish that at 9:00, and maybe hold me over to 11. I don't know about from 8:00 to 10:30. There's a lot of stuff that goes down.
They put him in last week they put him in a good spot at 9 with the Miz, which I thought that was a good spot for him. But like I said, if you want to you teasing the mystery opponent from the opening segment till 9:40 something to get there. It's like, okay, you might not have enough to kind of get there. So maybe 9:00 would probably be a better spot, and they maybe put something else on in the main event. But like I said, they don't really have anybody because Roman's not on TV, so they kind of got to put him up there in that spot.
I would have, and my thing is that I would have announced that it was Kevin Owens from the beginning, because that's something I would have waited to see. Like with the secret, guy, I'm thinking it's gonna be Madcap Moss or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's gonna be somebody weak, but like, I feel like they would have had a better build if it was Cody saying, you know what I'm saying? But I know the story was that, he wasn't supposed to know who it was, right? So,
yeah. You know who I thought it was gonna be?
Who?
I thought it was gonna be Ciampa.
Oh, no Ciampa on the show today. I think they're repackaging him though.
Because I seen they posted like I don't know if it was on Twitter or Instagram. They posted like, oh, who should be his opponent on Monday? I think it was something on Monday. They might have deleted it or something like that. But I feel like they posted something about him, who should be his first opponent. And I was like, oh, that'd be dope. But obviously, I guess I didn't see the connection between him and Kevin Owens coming back to kind of do a little thing with Seth.
Yeah, I honestly think that Kevin Owens would be a perfect little thing. I feel like they're having him bounce around until they kind of figure out what they want to do with him. Not saying
he's
that
a utility player. He's a utility. You could put him in anything and it's gonna work. Like,
I thought the lie detector thing was funny. I think that one thing that bothered me about it was that I felt like Ezekiel wasn't as funny as he was a week ago, where he was like, his delivery wasn't as funny. I thought Gable and KO were on. I thought Ezekiel was like, it wasn't tongue in cheek enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Where it was just like he was. I didn't feel like he was completely. I know he's all in because he's Elias. Like he was all in on that fucking gimmick. But I want to see him like, what do you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see him play it up a lot more than what he's doing right now.
Nah, I agree with you. It
wasn't over the top enough, if you will, for me. But I
watched him in the ring and I was like, that's Elias. That's Elias right there.
Don't matter if he wearing pants or shorts. That's the same nigga.
I ain't trying to watch it, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh God. You want to get into the Finn thing, or do you want to get into because I got things to say about the Finn thing, but it's not
Let's
about
talk about the Finn thing. Let's talk about the Finn thing, and then we can maybe like wrap up the rest of the show, because definitely, listen,
the Liv thing is pretty big. The Liv and Rhea
thing is pretty big, but Amp calling him Finn Balor, to me, I'm just like, I hate you, Amp, in so many different ways. In so many different ways.
Oh my God, he said that?
Oh, he called him Finn Balor.
Oh man.
Oh, we gotta get Amp back on the show one day. But
no, man.
That's why I was like, yo, maybe we gotta get this man a tag team partner or something. Cause
oh man, oh my God,
he's beaten Theory before. He just hasn't beaten him lately.
Best case scenario for him is for him and Ciampa to for him to get into a tag team more stable, like you said. Like, I think that there's actually a lack of them in the show right now. Like there are not a lot of stables in the show right now. So I think he would at least be. Here's my thing. Okay, my thing about this, and this is my spiel on theory, but less on Finn. Let's not write Finn's obituary because he is legitimately playing the same character he has played since the beginning of time on the main roster. He is again a utility guy that helps other guys get over because they can always heat him up whenever they want him to. We saw that last year. We got excited for it. It might not have ended the way that we wanted to, but we'll always be excited for Finn to be in the main on the main event. That's just what they do. I'm not writing his obituary. It just is what it is. Some of your favorites are going to lose. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I have far beyond pined for him to be the champion, and I just realize what it is, and I move on because that's what you're supposed to do when you're human.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. After this AJ Styles program, Edge might be like, "Yo, I gotta help this nigga out."
he low key might. He low key might because that just seems to be what he's trying to do. But my issue isn't with Finn. It's more that no matter what Finn does, Big E, AJ Styles, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Pat McAfee, no one gives a fuck about Theory. And I just think that that's the issue right there. He might have gotten reactions, but I think that was just because of who he was next to. And that's why they're having to beat your favorites, because you get reactions out of those people that he's not getting. If this title does nothing for him, I know that they're very stubborn. We've seen how stubborn they are when they want guys to be the guy. They've wanted this guy to be the guy for a very long time. I really do not see it. He is just, to me, he's perfectly hateable. I think that they made him perfectly hateable. He has fine matches. He just has legitimately no character you can get behind, and no matter who he stands next to, I just do not care about what he does. I like, if he has the title right now, I don't care about the title. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just going to be a really long reign where he just goes over people that I just feel like are way more talented than he is.
I agree. I agree completely. I don't really think there's anything truly to ride home about Theory. I think we're writing off the nature of his potential, and you believe that he's going to be a big guy, but realistically, like, there's still some things to change, but it seems like they're trying to force a square in the circle slot right now.
What do you think, dude?
You're right. I can't get behind him. Like, I don't know what it is. It's not like it's like like you said, he's got that character down. Kind of like it's easy to hate him. It's kind of like the Miz. It's kind of like the Miz, right? It's easy to hate. You know, you don't have to do much to hate him. But at the end of the day, it's just like the matches are just okay. What else are you offering to me to get behind him? Because Vince is co-signing.
Don't care.
He gets the selfie with Vince. Don't care.
Vince got a bigger Vince got a bigger reaction than his own title win last night.
Yeah, like who like you were doing the selfie thing. Like who gives a damn? Like, who cares, man? And then they sending all the main event dudes from the show main event. They sending all them dudes out there to give them the Kurt Angle, hosting them up and shit. Like, come on, man. Nobody cared.
No one gave a shit. Like they tried to shoot to the crowd being like shocked and stuff like that. I think they were more shocked to say they gave it to this trash nigga.
Yeah.
Like they were not. they weren't shocked. They were just like, I can't believe they're really going forward with this. And we could see, like, when I heard that the match was happening, I was like, y'all better get ready. Like, he's about to lose the title because he hasn't done anything with it. They dropped the Damian Priest storyline. Like, if I was Finn, I'd be like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, they completely dropped.
How I would feel.
Yeah, like the Damian Priest thing was completely dropped, and he beat him, and they moved on. And I think that, like, for a show that, like, a lot of things actually are connecting. A lot of things are actually moving on to, like, something that kind of is leading to something else. Finn being stopped when he actually had a feud was kind of weird. Like, and then to move on, like, and I was like, if I see him facing this nigga again, I'm gonna be like, bro, he must not be resigning, because I'm just like, like, what the fuck is he? What are they doing here, bro? Like, it was just frustrating. It's just frustrating to watch. Not only as a fan, but just as someone who, like, really thinks that there's a lot of other people on the show that have a potential. But
yeah,
best. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they ended up dropping the match. What was the final match between them at Royal Rumble?
Between who?
Between Finn and Priest.
It was on Raw.
It was a Raw match. That was the blow off match, and then they just dropped it.
Well, I don't even. Did they get a rematch? I don't think they got a rematch. I don't think he got his rematch.
So he just won. He won the title, and then that was it.
Or he got. Or you know what happened? I think he got the rematch and somebody interfered or some shit. I think Theory had interfered. It was before Mania, wasn't it? And
yeah,
it was
something beforehand.
Yeah. So yeah. It was. Come on, man.
Yeah, you could have saw. You could see the way it was going.
Yep. They not. I really don't think that they don't have faith in the guy, but I think that they definitely see him in a certain way, and I don't know what it's going to take for him to come out of that. So
it's kind of like they put the title on him, kind of like when your friend asks for some chips and you be like, "Damn, nigga, here."
Yeah, that's literally what it is. Like, do I see the current structure of where he is right now? Do I see Austin Theory winning the WWE title? Hell no. There's a lot of shit he's gonna have to overcome. I don't see him beating no Seth Rollins or nothing like that anytime soon. So that is what it is. The 24/7 wedding. I thought it was funny. I thought it was Truth saved that segment.
Classic.
Yeah, he saved that segment. Like
put it in the decade top segments. Classic.
I feel you know what? We haven't talked about the 24/7 championship on this show in quite some time. And honestly, why would we? But this was really well done for the fact that characters who aren't usually with one another are with each other. And I think that was the best part about it to me. That was the most sobering part. To see Sasha Banks and Naomi in this segment, as well as all the other people from the 24/7 division, which apparently is like 5 people at this point, and Nikki Ash. Um, to see them all there for me was worth it, and all in the same segment. Like, the ecosystem is bigger than just the same 4 to 6 people. So I was hyped for that.
I liked it. I thought the swerve of Reginald at the end was a great payoff. The crowd tried to take over the whole thing, but I thought R-Truth was such a great MC in that he did not allow them to do that and fuck the whole segment up. So
hey man, I'm not gonna get no more gigs.
it came off really, really well. And I don't know what's next here, but I was watching it and I was talking to Cyrus. I was like, okay, this is it. Like, the belt has to end here. Like, there's nothing else they can do with this belt. They've done everything.
You know what, man? You know what I was thinking about that belt, right? Honestly, I thought it would lead to some type of Becky Lynch interaction. And I don't know if that was in my mind. I was just processing that because of that promo she did before the house show, where she was talking about I never walked to Raw. I haven't been on Raw because I've been a champion for going on 3 years. You know, in concurrently, every time she was on Raw, she was a champion. So I was like, oh well, shit. Maybe she'll win the 24/7 title and she can come out on Raw because she'll still say I'm still a champion. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
I think she on PTO, that's why, but she still got to go to house shows to get paid.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, well, shit, maybe she won 24/7 champion. She could be a champion when she come out on Raw.
Speaking of Becky, I do think it's interesting that they're gonna run the Sonya match next week, because I do think they're just gonna get around to just doing the Becky rematch. I think she's gonna come back next week. I think
I think so as well.
Yeah, and they're gonna probably quote fire Sonya from her position so that she can be an in-ring competitor, which I'm like, you don't really need her to do that. Just call up some women, like
we don't really need
There's some women they could call up right now.
Yeah, like there's some women that unless she could, again, stables. If you could get us, if she can get a cool little stable, that'd be cool too.
I think that would be kind of like, that would be dope. I mean, if you're gonna keep Sonya in this management type role, maybe make her, like I said, like, not even a manager, but like, okay, she got the stable, but you don't really know that she's behind the stable. She kind of put them in favorable spots, so on and so forth, and it could kind of work that way. But it'd be cool if Sonya was in a little stable. But like, this whole switching between, I want to be in the ring, I don't want to be in the ring, I want to be this backstage thing. we kind of gotta like let's just pick something.
But again, to Bianca's credit, I've said this for months. They never make her out to be stupid. They never make her out to be in any type of like idiotic fashion. I thought the dollar fine was fantastic. It was like Stone Cold-ish, John Cena-ish in terms of how that paid off for the audience, and I thought that came off really well. By not just having her like leave.
Oh yeah, I thought it was pretty funny too. Shiny was talking about, yeah, wire that money over. Like, no, I got it right here.
She probably got that shit from Drew Gulak shit.
Hey, but man, a couple more of those and she could be a patron. To be honest with you, that's all I was thinking at that time. I was like, a couple more of those might be on your way, girl.
That should have been her fine to become a Hall of Fame patron on the A Show Patreon for a year.
Man, she could have paid it. She got it. I know. You know, I ain't pocket watching, but you know.
No, listen.
I think she
got
it
a little bit better. It was a bling. We looked at a picture of her in the Discord from like, what was it? Maybe like 2016, and to now, I was like, even the braid look healthier. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that mean the money flourishing. That's what it mean. The money up.
Beautiful. They living.
Side note,
pictures inside of Gucci bags. Yeah, she living.
Yeah. Side note, let me go back to that Tamina the segment. Yo, Tamina was looking.
Yeah. Hey.
Let me say.
Hey,
hold on, wait. I had to look back again. I was like, hold on, wait a minute now.
Hey, when I seen it,
you fine. She had them Air Force Ones on now. I don't know about that.
And she still got it, big dog. She still got the Newports in the tuck. All right, don't get fucked up. But hey, man, what else happened on this show?
A tag team match.
Oh, it seems like the Street Profits are getting that edge that we always wanted them to have, which about fucking time. I still feel like they're gonna break up this year.
Montez just has such a high ceiling.
Yeah,
and like, I don't know. I just like, I get it. Tag team, you know, I get Mr. Famo. I'm sick of that dude. Even though they haven't had him talk too much. I just, like I said, I feel like the Montez, you can tell that the ceiling is high. And I don't want. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
No, I just feel like I said, the ceiling is high, and I feel like there's an opportunity there, right there to, like I said, you want to make another star, a future star. I think it's right there already.
I don't want to coronate Montez too early. That's usually my thing, because I feel like he's definitely can be there, but we've never like kind of seen it up close, and he does have potential, but I feel like we've been saying this since day one, and I feel like we're about to set ourselves up for failure if it doesn't go the way that we want. If he isn't WWE champion, everyone's gonna write it off as a failure. So I'm just kind of riding the Street Profits thing for now. If he goes solo, that shit is cool. If he don't, I'm cool with that as well. If he becomes WWE champion, that's amazing. If he doesn't, I'm cool with that as well. He's got big shoes to fill in that house with Bianca Belair standing right there. So we, you know, I'm not saying curb your thing, but I'm saying like
your thing.
Whoa.
Hey, yo, come on now. I'm not saying curb the, you know, damn.
Just stop.
I'm just saying.
Let's move over it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, all right, whatever.
He got his homeboy on the main roster. That's really all he needed to do. No one ever thought that Dawkins was ever gonna make it there, bro. But he did. So it is what it is.
Yeah. You know, they you know, he got him up there. The money came with it. You know, so I mean, it's cool. But like I said, you know, I do foresee. I don't know if they break up, split up, feud, or whatever. I do foresee something in the future for them.
Yeah, for sure.
But I thought the match was cool. I didn't expect the RKBro to lose, but
they gotta get their win back. What they do with the Profits is really weird. Is that they have them lose and they have them beat the team like a team below them that would have leapfrogged them the week after. So now that there's no more teams for them to face, because it seems like Otis and Gable are kind of out of the running. Now they just got to beat Usos and RK-Bro every week until they get the titles, because it looks like that's where they're going with the team right now. Is they're gonna get the titles back soon, but they got to do this fucking unification shit that they don't need to be doing. But well, I'll say more about my issues with that as I see this storyline unfold. But yeah, I think that was everything.
We didn't talk. Did we talk? We talked about the women's match.
Ooh.
Oh my god,
we didn't even talk about the women's match.
I'm wilding. I said that was a bigger deal than the fucking Finn Balor thing.
Yes.
But I mean, we knew this was happening. It was a really quick women's tag team match. I thought it was really solid. But afterwards, you had Rhea Ripley turning on Liv Morgan. We foresaw it. It looks like the rumors might be. I'm not gonna call it yet. The rumors might be true that she's going into Edge's stable. And he looks like he's gonna have like a major role. He was back this week. He beat up AJ Styles in a locker room. I liked it. I think that Rhea's needed to kind of be on her own, and if she's going to be able to be on her own, let her start again getting these wins back against people that she was not beating and that she was kind of going with for the past year, and get her to Bianca. That's what we want to see.
I mean, I'm with you on that too. I think the Bianca match is something right there. I don't know where they have that match at, if it's a SummerSlam match or pay-per-view after WrestleMania Backlash. Well, I'm not going to say after WrestleMania Backlash, but some from further down the line pay-per-view. I do think that's a great match to have, and I think putting Rhea in the Edge stable, if that happens, I think that's even a bigger look on her part. You know, she has so much potential too, and she's still young. She's only like 25. It's room to grow there, and like I said, a lot of people try to dog the women's divisions on both shows. I just feel like the women division in the WWE is still strong. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely, just quick thoughts. I definitely thought the match was good, and then it ended up kind of like finishing sooner than I thought it would. So that's my only major critique on the match. And then kind of the follow up and everything. I'm ready for it. I think everyone's ready for it. This might be Liv's breakout program, if this was ever a program for her to really sink her teeth into. And if they do it right anyway. And I'm interested for the future of Rhea Ripley. So
yeah. And I think that's everything for this week in wrestling. I want to thank Houston's very own once again for not only being on our Patreon and supporting us, but being on the show today. Thank you so much, bro.
Hey man, I 100% am grateful, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity to be here just to chat with y'all boys. Means a lot to me. Like I said earlier, chatting with people that look like me in spaces about wrestling or whatnot, because wrestling is not just a hobby, it's a passion of mine or whatever the case may be. So it feels good to chat and talk with people.
All right, Meelz, anything else?
Nah. But
I also want to say fuck y'all to the patrons for making us watch Street Fighters. I'm watching that this week, so.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm happy for y'all. Shout out to the Street Friday game. I can't wait to hear you guys talk about this shit. But thank you guys. I mean, of course, thank you, Dietrich. Thank you once again, man. Houston's very own, for joining us. And of course, we got a lot more stuff to go. Listen, we gonna make things happen this summer, and we got a lot more things going on. So yeah, stay tuned to the A Show. Follow the A Show RNC on Twitter. Follow myself at Meelz TV. Follow Justin at OG Johnny 5. Follow Houston's very own at Houston's very own on Twitter. And yeah, man, stay subscribed, stay ready, stay blessed, and yeah, subscribe to the Patreon.
All right, y'all. See you next week on the A Show. Peace.